Oh man, this is quite the different location, if I do say so myself. So it's been a really crazy day or so. Um, in fact, let me see if I can kind of create a sequence of events that is conducive to what happened. So there's a relative I have that is pretty awful, and that person was upset by me doing something that they do, to where they threatened to kick me out, which I just thought was insane. Um, so when I packed some of the stuff that I had up, I forgot some other clothes. I went over there to get the thing. We'll get into this later, but I was originally going to do a stream this morning. The other place I'm staying at, the Wi-Fi has not been working. That's why I'm using some Wi-Fi that's out here. So nothing has been going right. God, I swear sometimes it's really hard to put up with this stuff. Um, the all of these events began on Thursday, I would say, because on Thursday I was supposed to have a meeting with this recruiter, the same person who had been involved with getting me work in the past, and that person, for all intensive purposes, stood me up. Now, the reason they stood me up is because, as they said, their Wi-Fi was acting up, and my argument is that you would think if someone's Wi-Fi isn't working, they could still call you. I know that when excuse me, not Wi-Fi, their power was out. No, I'm the one with the Wi-Fi troubles. But you would think if someone's power is out, they can still call you, contact you, find some way to communicate. Hey, the reason that this happened is da 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 da. So I'm left in the dark about why this person suddenly stopped responding. Um, then eventually, I hear back from them the next day, and this person says something to the effect of, there's this new job and it's gonna start, next week. I want you to fill out some paperwork. I download this PDF editing software, and the software is unable to. It basically messes with the page that you tried to edit. It starts screwing with it. It makes it to where like let's say you try to write your name and it's got a little line under there. You can't do it. So this is really irritating, obnoxious, etc. But I say, okay, you know what? Whatever. So I decide to go to Staples, and when I go there, or rather in the lead up to me going there, that's when we have the exchange that happens. That triggered a lot of what's been going on for these last 2 days. Well, anyways, the only reason I'm doing a stream in the car is because the other place I'm staying at, the Wi-Fi was just acting like some kind of nightmare. I mean, the last time I was there, there was this one room that it worked good in, or at least to a satisfactory level to where I could stream, and maybe I might get one or two interruptions, or I might get some interruptions, but I can still at least do it, try to whatever. Um, I wasn't able to do anything with the Wi-Fi there. I couldn't, and I was very. One of the reasons I even decided to get up and go anywhere at 3 a.m. was because I was just so bored, like sitting there and not being able to watch anything or write anything, because I use Google Docs to write stuff. So I was just really bored. That's the short answer for it. But yeah, I came back over there to get my some stuff, and then just to kind of keep it moving. God, it never gets any easier. I can say that with complete sincerity. I mean, you have some people where you can do everything they tell you to do, and if you do something to either don't do it, or you do it to a degree in which they don't are not completely satisfied with, they'll make threats. They'll completely just turn on you. Like with the snap of a fingers. Um, I mean, the exchange between me and that person couldn't have been longer than maybe a minute, and I swear I said maybe two things before they tried to make this. And when I say two things, I mean like two sentences of dialogue before they make a threat about kicking someone out. It's really crazy. This one person has a little dog sticking out the back of the car. I remember back when I used to have a dog. I would have. I always remember he would. It was a Yorkie. He would sit like right in this little area and just peer out the window, and I would just rub his back or his belly. Usually the back because I like the way it feels and like the fur. So every time I see one of those dogs, I'm reminded of him. And I swear, when I was talking to the person today, and I was like, I need Wi-Fi, right? Because the recruiter I've been speaking to is going to try to give me some more stuff pertaining to these jobs, like some more information, right? And I can't fill out the forms that she's talking about me. They haven't been sent yet, but they're going to be sent probably on Monday because I did the first part, which was the ones I did this past yesterday. And I said I can't be expected to stay somewhere indefinitely where there's either no internet or it just isn't working. I mean, outside of just me doing streams, video, whatever, the fact that I also use it for work because I fill out applications on more often than not. There's a few that you do in store, but for the most part, it's stuff you fill out online. I said I can't be expected to sit here and not have my stuff. So they got mad. We're talking about. I think I'm supposed to have this luxurious life. I said, look, I don't know. Look, I guess we're all trying to be victims or alliterative or whatever, but you know, the internet is not exactly too luxurious of a thing. I mean, for God's sakes, millions of people have it. People who don't even like before a few weeks ago, people like myself who didn't even have a car, they had the internet to go and Uber around. I usually don't like to eat on stream, but like I said, the way I've been feeling, it's not even a thing that is remotely of concern to me. I try to maintain some basic level of professionalism, but I just couldn't do it today. But by the way, this stream is sponsored by Chick-fil-A. Let me get a nap. No, I was talking to this person, and they were saying that they wanted me to get this other individual some food, and I said, "You want me to get myself food?" And they also want me to pay for someone else's food every time. So I said, "Forget it." I don't know. There's a lot of ridiculous expectations that people have. Like I would feel bad if I knew that like the people who are saying this stuff were going to be there to support me and we're going to like actually do something to assist me. But I mean, the problem is in almost every version of these scenarios and events, you get the complete opposite of that. I mean, how do you have someone who goes from saying this is like 2 days ago that they're going to like repair something on your car or whatever? Why didn't you tell them? Blah 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 blah. To then the next day threatening to kick you out because you did something that they do all the time. So like, people just the way, and it's, and I always thought like it was an online guy thing, just people online act weird, but the way that people act in real life, even towards members of their own damn family, is just it's so pathetic. No, originally I was gonna do my stuff this morning, but I wasn't able to. I ain't even gotten to that part. I thought I was like I was up from 8 yesterday morning to what 7? Like yeah, because that was when that guy came over there. So I was up for like 23 hours. See, the one thing I like to do is if I'm up late, like really really early, right? Or staying up to where it's like early morning is just do a stream, like just knock it out. Like, all right, I can go to sleep. I know I've done the video for the day. But it's hard to do that video when you got someone that can walk past you any time of the day. You have internet that doesn't work, or if it does, it stops working right after it comes on. It's hard. It's hard to stream under these circumstances. And the other problem is if I do it at my usual place, since that person's there all day, it's hard to even guarantee that you're not gonna have like loud stuff in the background. I record a video and you can like hear them yelling at someone. All of it is just like I try to say video making's not hard, anybody can do it, but there's a lot of frustrations to making this stuff. And I was thinking about the events of the last 2 days. I was like, if they made a movie out of this, they should borrow the title of that Bret Hart not approved documentary, Screwed. That's what the title should be. That should be the proper phrasing. Oh, what's up? Oh, it's the end of the world. Man, yesterday kicked off a sequence of events that were just insane. I was supposed to talk to this job recruiter on Thursday. They stood me up. I finally get to speak to them on Friday. They want me to go and fill out some forms. I download an app that doesn't even let me fill the stuff out, even though you have to pay for it. I decided to go up to the Staples to just manually have it printed out for me because the printers at my place aren't exactly in tip-top shape, if you know what I mean. The person I live with, the character we described on, I don't know if you remember the New Year's Eve stream, that same character starts losing their marbles because because I locked my door as this cleaning person was like trying to clean, but the reason this is ridiculous to me is that they also locked their door. And I had no idea that this person was going to do this literally until right as I'm locking. He's like, don't lock it because this other person's going to. So anyway, I say they can lock when I come because it's like a 10-minute drive, right? So they can lock when I come back. This person responds that they can do it now. And then I said, yeah, when I return. And it's like, do you want a place to live when you come back? And I'm like, what the hell? So I call this intermediate figure who's pretty much just as bad at the discretion of someone else, and this person defends. They go, "Oh, they were just angry. They were just upset." And I'm like, "No, you don't talk to somebody that way if you're actually. I mean, dude, it's like if you because I didn't get the whole. I didn't even know that was going to happen, but I swear I only responded to that person maybe with 2 sentences of dialogue, and it just went from again 0 to 100 in this really brief, quick amount of time. But anyways, I got a bunch of stuff out of there. I came back at 3 in the morning because I knew they would be asleep to go get some more stuff. And then when I get back to my the place I've been staying at, the car locks by itself. So and I find out only after um calling AAA that my membership has been expired for like 2 months. And by the way, I'm not the one who signed me up for that. Somebody else did, and they just chose not to renew it. Ironically enough, after I finally get a car. So then for like 2, 3 hours, I'm trying to get somebody to come down there and do it. They finally come around 7 o'clock after this thing's been running for 3 hours. And I'm just like, God damn it. And it was an awful 24 hours. Because this started actually at 3 p.m. Yesterday, like around this same time. So it's been a really terrible series of hours. Let me see. A Koski merchant says they were going to make you homeless over a door. Well, again, the context of it, right, is that when I leave, I lock my door. The person that lives with me, when they leave, they lock their door. There was someone who was cleaning some stuff. They didn't tell me they were going to be cleaning in there soon or right now or whatever. And I was going to take a 10, 20-minute drive up to this store or whatever. And as I'm locking the door, as I'm closing the doors, when they say, "Oh, leave it open so this person cleans," like, "Oh, they can do it when I come back." No, they can do it. They can do it now. I'm like, yeah, they can do it when I return. And then their exact words to me are, because I'm like responding to them as I'm leaving, right? I'm going. I'm not about to sit here and argue back and forth with somebody. Do you want a place to live when you come back? Now, dude, you'd have to absolutely be insane to even say that to a person over these type of circumstances, but also to then, because I think I mentioned I spoke to this intermediate person, right? Somebody that also is like in the same, and they start saying all kind of stupid stuff. Oh, they didn't mean it, and when you're angry, you say things you don't mean. I didn't mean to threaten to kick you out, which I mean we already said I'll take that bet. Like I was like I didn't say this yesterday, but I'm just like, yeah, evict me, do it. By the way, when I was driving back, um, because I sat in the parking lot, because I don't really like to talk on the phone when I drive, because I haven't been doing this that regularly for that. It's only been like a few weeks. Um, this same person, right, the one that made the threat, started banging on the glass, like tap, like banging on, like your light is off, your light is off, and the sun hasn't even gone all the way down, so it's really not that big of a deal. When usually it is that when it's nighttime, you put the lights on. When it's daytime, you put the lights off. And I see some people during the day that still have the lights on, whatever. So they say, your lights are off, your lights are off. I turn them on, and I'm not opening, I'm not I'll explain this. The reason I didn't roll down the window is because I know if I do, they're gonna like try to curse me out or try to have some kind of art. So I just don't even roll it down, right? And they say, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Like just losing their marbles. And man, when I hit that gas pedal and went down the street without even acknowledging, like even directly, it felt so good. Man, that was so cathartic. God, when I clicked that thing and went down the street as they were banging, oh, it felt like an action movie, Ugh. But I hope you understand that, like, I'm not a confrontational person. I mean, when you don't tell somebody someone's going to do something and you expect them to just, like, I guess, sit here and you know, acquiesce to your petulance. And they say, look, I don't have a problem with this person cleaning, but I do have a problem with leaving my stuff unlocked when the other person that lives here gets to have theirs locked whenever they want, right? Because I think that's fair, right? If one person can lock their door, the other one should be able to do that too. Um, and it certainly was of no, because remember, I wasn't even made aware that this was the person's next intention to like go there and click, because they didn't say anything at all, and I wasn't told anything about. I think they're gonna do it eventually, but like I wasn't told that in that exact next 10 or whatever minutes they're gonna go. You know what I'm talking about? Like as I'm locking the doors, only when I'm notified of this. Yeah, it's real sad. But when you said what a fool, there's a lot of fools, and there's a lot of foolish things that people are saying. I mean, I was talking to one I'm with right now, and they're like telling me about me wanting to have a luxurious life, and I said I just want internet. I want internet because I have things I have to do that require the internet. Like for example, if I buy some movie on iTunes, why should I have to watch it on my phone when I can watch it on my computer if there's internet? And like I said, if we want to talk about essential stuff, um, I'm supposed to be getting some more paperwork to fill out over the next day or two. Not next, excuse me, Monday. That's probably the next time I get some more stuff, right? More for this new job I'm supposed to be getting. Um, so I can't sit here and like not have any way to write that. You know what I'm saying? Like I truly walked away from that whole scenario over the past what was that from yesterday, because of just how it's like all toxic. Like the place where I have internet in, excuse me, has this bizarre person that is on some kind of ego trip who we described before. It seems like every other week they're trying to find some reason to have an issue with you. It could be over anything stupid. I mean, I never even told you guys that they were upset with me for not taking the trash out, when the only reason I wasn't taking it out was because I was working and wasn't even there for most of the day. This is back when I had the Uber, and with Uber rides, when you schedule a ride and they come, you only have 2 minutes to get out there before they just drive off, because they're not going to wait for you. They're not your I guess that's one of their rules. They give you like a little brief period to come out or be seen, or else they go. And as like the second I unlock the door, or I'm leaving, right? As I'm leaving, they scream out, "Take out the trash!" And I'm like, you stupid bastard. If this was something that bothered you so much to where it has to be done in that immediate moment, you're not going to tell the person who's leaving to go do it. You would do it yourself. I'm supposed to cancel my ride so that I can do something that, I mean, we already know they would just complain about tomorrow or next week anyway. Dude, earlier yesterday, they had me lifting these heavy these like tires, right? They ordered off of whatever. And I was just thinking to myself, like, it's heavy. I'm not complaining. Um, they tell me to move these cans into the front. You put the can out like by the roads, by the curbside for the trash people to pick it up. Um, I do that without, even though they came in there at like 11 at night. And it was like really obnoxious, because it's like I just think at a certain hour of night, nobody should be coming in there unless you're doing something that's like really loud, nobody can sleep. I don't think anyone should be able to just go into a bedroom at whatever weird hour, whatever. That's just my opinion. But anyways, all this stuff you put up with it when we talked about it before. All the mornings of being woken up at 9 a.m. because they won't close their door and they want to talk loud over the phone for their never ending stay at home position. all this stuff you put up with, you don't say anything, you just tolerate, and then when that person comes to you and makes some request, and you say, "Hey, look, I can't do this. I got to go. I'll be back in like whatever the." It's like, to hell with you, Like, seriously, at a certain point, you just bite back. You get sick of it. That's why I said it felt so good when they were tapping on the window, banging on the window. Just hit that gas pedal. Just get out of there. Felt real nice. I wish I could have recorded the reaction. The hell we have to sit here and feel bad because somebody else. I pay. I don't care if you paid for the sky over this. I'm not gonna let somebody treat me that way, especially someone that's not my parents. I was explaining to one of my relatives because they were trying to say that I'm like this timid or docile person who's afraid of this like little group, and I tried to explain to them that when you live with somebody and you don't have a car, that means that whenever they come in to where you are, you can't go to some separate place to not see them. That means that when someone comes over there to confront you, you can't get in your thing and drive off and go somewhere else for the night or the week or whatever. And it looks like that's finally been reversed a little bit, and I'm glad to be away from that. Like, I only came back this to my regular place this past week because I thought I was going to start the stuff with that job um this week. If I knew that it would be like a total dud where the only thing that I'm really asked to do is to fill out some paperwork that I could just print out at, whatever that place was, Staples, I wouldn't have even returned. I would just stayed at the place I was at before. Like, that place, even with its, because the internet, like, not having the internet is awful, but there's still other places I can go to get it, even if it's on like a time limit or whatever. It's obnoxious, right? But that still is less obnoxious than that person. Because, like I said, I feel like I'm not even trying to make myself sound like some great Samaritan YouTuber, but I feel bad when I say I'm going to do a stream on Saturday at 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. and then I can't do it because the internet is out. I can't do it because of the connection. I didn't even want to do one this is like, I used to do them at like 5 p.m. The only reason I didn't want to do one this late, and I'm going to use that phrasing, is because the sun starts to go down around 5, and you know, then I have to like turn I gotta turn the thing on to get the light on. But you get the idea that that's the only thing that made me kind of reluctant to do it. But yeah, I try very hard to be consistent. I try hard to put stuff up on here, and I just don't need to be gone after and like threatened with whatever that was over stupid stuff. They are very ignorant. Let me tell you what happened over the last couple of months. By circumstances admittedly out of their control, they have called themselves taking on more responsibilities, if you will, right? And because of that, they feel as if, because I'm going to make this very clear, it used to not just be me and this person. You can interpret it any way you will. But because of that, they feel like they can say and act any kind of way they want toward me. And I'm supposed to sit there and put up with it. And to hell with that. Like I said, this is the same person who, when I was unemployed, they didn't help me get a job. This is the same person that when I'm hungry, are starving, are famished, they might get you one or two things to eat that whole 5-day week, if you're lucky. And usually it's like, barely anything. But it's like, if they are awful in pretty much every way. And ever since it became just me and them, not even wow, not even 4 months ago, I've been trying to get out of there. And like I said, man, I feel like I'm a fairly easy because I explained before, I don't like conflict. Especially with people you live with. That's why when they were sitting there with all their loud calls with their stupid job, with their door open, waking me up at 8 or 9 a.m., didn't see me say anything to them. When they were so lazy that they couldn't take out the trash ever and just had stuff piled up for days if I wasn't there, didn't see me say anything to them. When they were too lazy to go outside and get the mail, didn't see me say anything to them. So there's a lot of stuff when they had people come over, and they I mean, like, uh, there's a lot of stuff that they do that, by courtesy of me being a person who just doesn't like to argue over things that I don't really think are that, like whatever, even if it's something I think that like annoys me. Every time there's a bad interaction between me and them, it's something that they started. It's something that they initiated. It's something. I mean, I still can't get over them. Because I mentioned before, like the college stuff is my past, right? Here's a person who was not involved with that at all, right? They weren't involved with that in any capacity. Happened back in 2018. They call themselves trying to like ask me about applying for federal aid and all the rest of this nonsense. Basically, they took something that was dead and they tried to dig it back up, right? And I said, after kind of like not responding because I'm not interested in doing this. Look, you're not going to pay for anything. You are as bad as the ones from a couple of years ago. Just get out of my face. But again, that reaction is something that only comes after you keep messing with someone over something that is, you trying to drive them over a cliff. Which is what I said. When you have someone who's not going to pay for anything, what good are they for you with regard to school? After all, I can fill out loans and federal aid myself. I don't need them for that. And certainly, it's even more ironic when you consider that they called me entitled for thinking that I should have my supposed guardians and you know relatives that sit here and act like not going to college is the end of the world, pay for me to go to school. And I said, well, correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't ask you to get involved with this in any capacity. I was completely fine with you having no role. But again, they're the kind of person where they drag themselves into things that have nothing to do with them, and then when it blows up in their face, they you know are shocked or surprised by it. What was I eating? A burger. I haven't eaten anything all day. No, I didn't get up until about maybe 3 hours ago, because that thing with the car locking me out or whatever, that lasted for 3 hours. So I was up until about 7 this morning. And even after that concluded, I was still considering doing a stream, like at that time, but I just said no because I'm just too tired. We love you. I'm gonna call you by your actual name for this example. Banana Merchant. I love you, and I'm gonna make sure that you're all right, and I'll be there for you, and I'm all you've got. And oh, you didn't take out the trash every single day because I'm too lazy to take it out myself. Well, you can get out of here. And then the next day, oh, here's some food. Banana Merchant, and then a day after that, oh, Banana Merchant, you locked your door um after not knowing that because you're leaving and you don't want anybody to go through your stuff while you're gone. We get out of here. And that's what drives me crazy. I was there all day and never like for hours on end, right? And that I mean the cleaning person never came in there. So I mean, they had plenty of time to do it. And I don't know, man. It just feels like really strange to me that if you leave something unlocked for hours on end and then you lock it for what's supposed to be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, suddenly it's a problem. Like I just think that's weird. What you're going through is a testament to why I live alone and refuse any roommates. Man, I would do that if I could. I told you the apartments over in this damn state. I'll never forget when I was online. I was looking at like rooms for rent or whatever. They had they have people who actually will sell a room for 1,500 or for, and remember, we're not talking about an apartment. We're talking about a bedroom for $1,000. I was like, are you out of your damn mind? But it's interesting. It's like people really believe that if you don't pay rent, you can just be talked to and treated any kind of way. They really think that if they pay some bill that you're like their slave and they can just talk to you in any kind of, and I I swear what has happened here is that I have in the past lived with people who paid for my stuff or whatever, who were nice to me. Maybe they give you something they want you to do whatever, but it still is not that much. And even if I have a disagreement, argument with them, because I said before, I really do not believe I'm a confrontational person. That's why me and this individual, for the most part, I don't even say anything to them unless I'm spoken to. Um, what drives me crazy is that in seeing how other people that I have lived with that have paid for bills have acted, and how even in times where I've been uneasy with them, had an argument, etc., you don't see them in a brief exchange like the one I had with this person yesterday, threatening to kick me out. Um, Nothing I do, in my opinion, especially if it relates to a door, should should even like get someone to contemplate doing that. But again, it's like this isn't really about me doing something immoral and screwed up. This is a person with the ego trip, and I just don't want to participate in it. Guys, if you feel so outraged and angered because somebody did what you did by locking their door when they leave, as just as you lock your door and you leave, that's on you. Remember, I couldn't care less if that thing was locked. Heck, I already got all the important stuff out of there anyway. The last time I was over, or most of it, all the really big important stuff. That was just so funny with the buffer guy. He's like, I don't understand why you started locking your door. It's like, well, maybe when you have a bunch of random people who you don't know showing up to your place for several weeks on end, you probably aren't going to feel too comfortable leaving and having that thing open, unlocked for any random person to possibly go in and take something out of. I mean, it's really interesting how like when people lock their doors and they leave their house, nobody takes issue with that. That's expected, right? But if you lock your door because there are strangers there, or you just don't, whatever your reason is, then suddenly it's an issue. Why would anyone leave their door? So for a long time, I would do that. And the reason for that was because there weren't that many people showing up, or it was like some different people I was familiar, whatever. But over the last few months, there's been this influx of these strange characters I've never seen. And I just don't trust the bastards. And you can get mad at me. You can say that I'm doing something screwed up or I'm negative. But again, I'm just simply doing what the exact person who got upset does as well, which is when they leave, they lock their door. They don't feel, whatever their reason is. I don't know. I don't care to know. I just know that they lock theirs as well. So I think I should be able to do so if we're pretending to act with any semblance of fairness. That's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree. Man, this morning when I went for that drive, it was so cold, and the sky. What do you call it? When you like when you have a car that's like parked outside and it gets all frostbite or whatever, and the front mirrors like got stuff. I was freaking. I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna drive this if it looks this way, or if I can't see out the screen, right? And it's interesting how you just eventually, as you drive, because I would look out the window on the side, but it's interesting how it just dissipates as it moves around. You know what I mean? Like I just thought that was interesting because I was really worried, like, oh no, I can't see out of there. Now I can. Oh, like I said, I'm just tired of all this stuff. Too much drama for no reason. I'm gonna try to go for probably another 30 minutes because I do have some like frozen stuff that I'm trying to put back in there. No, I might have to really just have car streams from now on. You go to some restaurant, some place with Wi-Fi, you just pull up in the parking lot, and there you go. Because and I thought it was crazy. I was like, all these other people I go over the house of, they have internet, but you don't. And then you technically have it, like to an extent, but you don't prioritize getting it fixed. But I told you that like I'll never not be amazed by how people in general have this complete lack of care, concern, compassion towards a situation if it doesn't concern them. Just like this relative one was supposedly I didn't hear it directly from him, but he was supposedly mad because I called some one of them like a hooker, and I was like, listen, online I've been called all types of names. People have called me. I didn't want to say it on because I want to get them monetized. So, but my thing is, the N word, whatever. And it's like, I don't get any defenses. So I don't, like I said, what is said to me will like I'll always be amused when people try to like clutch their pearls and talk about how could you say this about this person when all types of things are said and written about me, and not a single one of these bastards will you ever see come online and say something in my defense because they don't care. Well, at least if you stream this way, you don't need to worry about getting interrupted like what usually happens on your streams. Well, the other thing is that I like the 6 a.m. ones, where it's like really early over here because everybody's asleep. And that like my volume is usually like when I did the New Year's one, I was this close to the screen, like bending over to speak into the microphone just to ensure even further that you could hear me and that the people that were there could not. But that same place doesn't have Wi-Fi right now. So that's why I'm doing it here. The Wi-Fi over there acts crazy. I'll say, hey, while it is a late stream, it's good to see, even though I showed up late. Oh, there's been a lot of late showing ups. So let me relitigate the sequence of events. The lady that represents me with this agency I'm part of that gets me these jobs was supposed to call me on Thursday. I stayed up. I went to sleep early, got up at like 3 a.m. I said, okay, I might as well just stay up until 7 because there's a chance I might miss this call. The call never comes. They tell me the next day that they didn't call me because the power was out. And I thought that was weird because I was like, well, if the power's out, you can still, like, if my power goes out, I can still call, but whatever. So they tell me to go and fill out this paperwork for this new job, right? I tried to do it on the computer. It doesn't work. It's messy. I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, with PDFs where they have like those little lines and like the formatting just it's not allowing me to really edit it. So I say, okay, whatever. I decide I'll go to Staples and print out a copy of this stuff and then, you know, do it by hand. As I am locking my door, the same crazy, ridiculous, insane relative that has been described on here before. They were described in the New Year's stream. They were described on the you know, most blame man of all time 3 stream. You know, they're just, you know what I'm talking about. This person says, "Oh, keep your door unlocked because this cleaning person is going to come in there and clean it." I said they can do it when I come back because my drive is probably going to be 10 or 20 minutes. They say no, they can do it right now, and I said, and as it's happening, I'm leaving, like I'm walking out of the place because I'm trying to go and do this thing, right? They say, so I respond to them twice, and then the next thing that comes out of their mouth, and this actually got recorded, not by me but by Ring. Do you want to have a place to live when you come back? I looked at this and I looked at them and I said, "You're kicking me out." And they said, "Do what I ask you to do." I said, "I'm coming right back." So, okay, well, when are you coming back though? It's like in 10 or 20 minutes. The drive is right by where I live. It's not that far away. So I go there. I you know, do the thing, whatever. It takes about the time I figured it would, not that long. And at the discretion of another relative, I call the this other one who's like supposed to be the intermediate figure, right? And they do everything I predicted. They make excuses. They say it's all my fault. Oh well, you know, there's a pecking order, and you know when I'm not there, that person is in charge, and starts to say that, oh well, you know, they didn't really mean it. They were just upset. I'm like, man, get out, please. So they just talk for a whole hour about, you know, just making a bunch of excuses. They talk about controlling and demanding. But you know what gets me though? Like, I'm honest. Every time somebody asks me, do you like this person? I say no. Do you love this person? I say hell no. I tell the truth. I say this individual is someone who I have had the misfortune of living with because of circumstances out of my control. This person is someone who is going to find a reason to have a problem with you over anything. I mean, not even a few weeks ago, they were complaining about me not taking out the trash. And the reason I wasn't taking out the trash because I was gone for most of the day and not even there to do it. So I'm just saying, it's hard to really take it seriously when you know that at any junction or point you can think of, this person will find some way to have a problem with you or what you're doing or whatever. Well, like I said, I'm not about to sit here and live with somebody that's gonna threaten to kick me out every other week. I'm not doing that. That's that because I said before that they're bipolar. They do this yo-yo thing where they act like they like you one day and hate you the next. I like I said, I like to be consistent. So I let me finish the rest of this. So I get in the car. I don't like to talk on the phone when I'm driving because I've been practicing for the last couple of weeks. I'm still not entirely comfortable with certain things. And I just feel more at ease when I'm focused, right? But I start to drive back because I'm seeing that it's getting like kind of late. Apparently the person that was cleaning left right before I got back or whatever. And I was delayed because I stopped to talk to this person. So whatever. They basically like rubbing my face. Look what I told you. They left. And I already predict that the relative that loses their mind regularly is going to like freak, right? So this person is actually, that relative is actually outside as I'm pulling up, right? And they start banging like that on the glass, right? And they're like, your lights are off. Your lights are off. Now, Megumi, I know you're in the UK, but in the US, I have seen repeatedly that unless it's fully dark, you still have people who have their lights on. Like, it was while the sun was going down, right? It's not entire. It's like, I didn't know what I'm talking about. It's like the shift, you know, where the sun is like starting to go down, but it still is like not dark, like it's not pitch black or anything. But anyways, I turn the lights on. I don't roll the window down. They're still banging. You hear me talking to you? You hear me talking to you? And man, when I hit that gas pedal and drove down the street, it felt so good to get away from that stupid bastard. I was man, because you know what was gonna happen, right? If I roll the window down, they're gonna like curse me out or say some more crazy stuff, and I just wasn't interested in that. So I decided I'm just gonna just head out of here. Why would they say something so warped like that to you? Because they are an individual. Vince, your comment got hidden by YouTube, so one of them can unhide it. That's not me that did that. Just I'm letting you know. But they feel like in the last couple of months they have developed some kind of power because, like I said, this person was not paying for anything before September. Like it's been a very recent development, and they're trying to use that now as a justification to talk and treat me like trash or any kind of way they want. And I'm just not having it. So the story continues because after this happens, I go and I get some gas. I go back to the place. They've left now. I grab pretty much most of my important stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm figuring I'm probably not gonna. If I do return, it's gonna be like very brief intervals. Um, and after I do this, I I drive over to the other place I'm staying at. It's like 34-minute drive. That's when I realized I left most of my like shirts back at the place because I had put them in my closet to be out of the way for when the person that was cleaning would be, like do stuff with the floor because they were like all still in the back together. Anyways, after I decide to go back. It's 3 a.m. I go back at 3 a.m. because I'm bored because the internet's not working at my place, which at the place I'm staying at, which means can't go online, can't watch videos, can't like I can't do anything, right? Other than maybe draw. That's probably the only thing I could do. So I go back over to the place, and I also go back at that early because I know they're probably asleep, so they won't try to like argue with me or whatever. Um, so I get back, it's like again 3 something, and I close my door because let me tell you something about this car. This is an old car. It's probably like 9 or 10 years old, and it was done for repairs by a relative who kept delaying it. Um, but it's got this really interesting glitch where if you close it, sometimes it'll lock by itself. Like so, for example, if you just like get out and go, I want to get some fresh air, and I just close it right now, it could lock by itself, and then you would just be stuck. The stream would just be stuck running for an hour with me outside. So I close the door, and it locks while my computer's in there and my phone is in there. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I try to call a roadside assistant because I'm not too panicked because it's right in front of where I stay. It's not like I'm out in the street somewhere, um, which would have been even more of a nightmare. So I call this place. I find out my membership has been expired since November, which I got this thing about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's even more. Think how ironic that is. The thing that's meant to help you if you have a problem driving expires a couple of weeks to a month before you actually start. You get the irony of that, right? Like just how ironic that is. Like that would be like if like Vince, let's say you start working for some let's say you get a license for performing CPR, right? And then you get a job like let's say you're a lifeguard. Um you want to get a job where you're a lifeguard and you save people, get them out of the water, and your CPR license expires like a few weeks before you start the lifeguard position. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just really ironic. So eventually I'm able to get somebody to come over there. It's like 7 a.m. and I just went and laid down and just passed out and went to sleep. I was gonna do a stream at 4 or 5 this morning, but I didn't even have the computer to do it at that point. And I just it's been a really tough last 24 hours. All I can say. Let me see what you wrote. Pardon my insensitivity. Just realized the topic. See scapegoat dynamic. Oh yeah, because if this hadn't happened, I definitely would have been streaming like in there today. It's just so it's really I would be in a more jokey mood, but it's just like it just sucks. All the stuff that just happened. And what's crazy to me is that the person that eventually got me the roadside assistance, I was like, oh, you shouldn't have driven at 3 in the morning, and it's like, but that's not the point. The point is I was given a vehicle that can close itself without me. Because you know how with cars, like a lot of the old ones, you could just put the key in the ignition. Because this thing turns on with a button, a lot of times I'll just put the key like in the passenger side, like I just have it on the side of me. And I it's like, I'm sorry I don't have this thing just strapped to me, but damn, if that still doesn't justify blaming me over the vehicle that locks by itself, like, oh my God. I don't understand their logic, man. Sounds like you had an eventful day indeed. It's bound to take its toll on you as stupid stuff like that piles up. God. Remember, and this all started, like all this, the whole like sequence of events, all was initiated by me trying to do paperwork so I could go back to work. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's funny that if that lady's power hadn't have gone out, and I had spoken to her about the same stuff on Thursday we spoke about yesterday, then I probably would have gone to, because I most certainly would have tried to get it done the same day, right? I would have gone up there the same day, which means I wouldn't have gone up there the day that the cleaning person came, which means that this would, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, one little thing just flips everything on its head. I'm just really irritated. That was awful. Like, I don't know. It just seems like people have this innate ability to never be sympathetic towards someone who's experiencing something they're not. Because I was explaining my point of, like, you know, I'm locking the door because I don't feel comfortable. I mean, like I said, the other person gets to do it, so why shouldn't I be as well? Oh, I just didn't know that why you started doing that. Well, hell, I mean, again, people can lock their house door, but if you lock a room door, it's the end of the world, really. By the way, ironically enough, I just want to point this out. This person actually has had several times where they've left the front door unlocked. So I thought that's kind of amusing to me. I just I remembered that. Yeah, trying to do streams can be really tough. Heck, trying to do a normal video can be kind of hard as well, because I recorded one this week, and you can hear them in the background yelling at somebody. And I was like, oh God. Because I don't have a script, so when I'm doing like a regular old news video, it's like I got the sometimes when I'm speaking off the cuff, I like what I'm saying, and then it's ruined because this person in the background won't shut up. Terrific. The thing that's crazy about this is how trivial it is. Closing the bedroom door. Does that really amount to World War III? Well, like I said, man, I want you to think about this from my perspective. I'm locking the door because I'm about to go somewhere and I could be gone for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Long enough time for somebody to go and like do something, whatever, like just an amount of time that is not, it's like I'm just going outside or whatever. I'm going for a bit of a drive, and I don't know entirely how long I'll be up there. I'd imagine it's not gonna be that long, but you never know, right? Um, and right as I'm locking the door, am I told for the first time that this cleaning person wants to go in there and clean, which means that, again, going off of what I knew before I locked the door, I had no idea they want to go in there, at that immediate time or right at that point or whatever. And I say about two things back to that person and am hit with, "Do you want a place to live when you come back?" That's why I said when I came back later and they were banging on my glass on the window like over and over trying to get me to say some of them, and I just drove off. It felt so good. Oh man, that's gonna be one of my favorite moments of the year. I already know, because if you knew how many times that, like, I guess I'll give you I'll explain why that's so cathartic. Since I didn't have a car, that meant a lot of times that if someone did something to me or was nasty toward me, I'd have to stay there, put up with it. I even had this person say, I'm not going anywhere, and you can't get. But when you have a vehicle, you just jump in and just take off. It feels so liberating. Because, like I said, you don't have to put up with this stuff. And the people that are acting this way, they're not helping me with anything. I went to the market about like 2 hours ago. Everything I have, I bought myself. All the driving experience I've been getting, it's all been me just practicing and going around the streets and performing all the activities. They're like I'm very serious when I say the most you might get out of these people is they pay for bills for their home, which, like I said, they weren't even doing until recently because of circumstances, and also they're not doing for you. I gave this example before. If I was calling Megumi a piece of trash and oh my god, he's so horrible, and then I pay for his phone bill and I'm like, well, Megumi, I really care about you and love you because I pay for your phone bill, even though we're on the same plan. If I didn't pay for yours, mine would also not be paid for, and then I couldn't use mine either. It's like they're not doing that for me; they're doing it for themselves. I'm just there by happenstance, I should say. Megumi said, I can definitely understand. Must have been really satisfying to have done that to them. It was when they were tapping on that thing. Oh my god. And it proved the point I made before, which is that if I lived anywhere else, that person would mean absolutely nothing to my life. When you have individuals who will tell you in a heartbeat that they love you, but they never. But if you go anywhere else, they never call you, never ask you how you're doing, never ask you if you're all right. You know that all it takes to completely cut them out of your life is simply just living in another house. It could be one down the street. Also, I really don't like when people are like that. They're responsible for any bills, use the way of talking to you, whatever way they please. Yeah, and my thing is, again, consider my perspective. You know for a fact that this person didn't pay anything up until a couple of months ago. And now suddenly they and remember before that, they spoke to you like you were trash too. So, this is just a new excuse for the same old recycled trash. Um, and I'm just not interested in having that process repeat itself. Like I said, I don't respond too well to threats. And I even if that person says that, I'm gonna tell them evict me. Because they're keeping it like morally gray as to like the ownership of that place or whatever. Um, but I mean, I'm not about to sit here and stop going to somewhere where I have a key for. Are you serious? Because you said you didn't want me there? Go to a court, get some papers, and evict me. Do it. Yeah, act like because you've been paying bills for a number of months, I can count on one hand. You run everything, and we're supposed to be afraid and cower to you and do every man. Get out of my face. Like I said, the only reason this stuff doesn't happen more often is because I would just sit there. I go, I'm not powerful enough to complain. I just have to put up with this and take out the trash every single day because this person orders all this garbage. What was really funny? They had this really over dramatic display where they were talking about how they were so disturbed by the fact that I admitted I didn't love them. I mean, which any person with two eyes could have figured out if you ever see me interact with them or my lack of thereof interactions with them. And they went and grabbed all these bills. We're like, I have all of this on my back, and I am so, just this big over dramatic crap, right? But ask yourself, if somebody is paying all these bills or whatever, how and it's like it's so awful, and oh my god, I can't buy anything that I want. How are they able to order all this crap off the computer, guys? I might order something online maybe twice a month. I did have like a little bit of a spending spree when I like over the summer, but that was just me getting some stuff I hadn't had in a long time. Like, but my point is, it's like they believe believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. So you can have someone tell you that, oh my God, I'm struggling and I'm paying all these bills and da, 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 da. But if you see them ordering and getting all this right non-essential crap, they rent like this person ran out of water and they were talking about you know you know what I'm saying. It's I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Like Magumi, I'm struggling. I'm paying all these bills, and then you see like 10 boxes around tomorrow. Doesn't seem like they're struggling to me, dude. They're you know what they remind me of. You know those people. What's a good example? It's kind of like the person who says, "Oh my God, my partner is awful. They're doing all this horrible stuff to me." No, you know what? No, I'm not even going to do that because there's like a psychological thing with that. I'll put it this way: it would be like if I told you I was on, um, if I told you I was lactose intolerant, okay, and then and then literally every single day you see me drinking a shake or some milk or eating some cheese, and you're like, well, you claim you're not you can't have this stuff, but I see you consuming it over and over. You claim that you're struggling, but somehow you're able to order 10 things off the computer to where they got a whole lineup of I should have taken a picture of that and put on this stream, all those boxes lined up. And again, if they want to order, every single thing that's ever been put on Amazon, overnight or every year, that's fine. But don't come here and try to make me feel bad for you with your woe is me crybaby fest about what's on your back, because literally their entire adult life, nothing has been on their back. They have a literal fantasy world of having a job where you can sit at your house all day long, putting trash in the kitchen that somebody else is going to take out because you're too lazy to go walk the extra 2 minutes to stick it out there. Having what do you call it? Being able to talk to your friends and whoever you want for most of the day, pretty much with no interruption outside of the few times you actually get a work-related call. And this is the person that is having this extremely tough time, and they don't know how they're gonna make. Like, give me a break, Like I said, I'm supposed to have sympathy for these bastards. Where was my sympathy when I didn't have a job for 3 years and they all sat around mocking me and not helping me? Told you, my hand was like this. It was just sinking and sinking and sinking. And the only relief I was able to get came from me. So that's why I said when that person came up, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, asking me how is the job search, I'm like, did you like wake up in an alternate universe where you were actually a caring relative? You never showed any compassion toward that scenario whatsoever year after year. Remember, this is the same stupid bojangling, shoe shining, buck dancing douchebag prick that tried to mock me over being unemployed. This is like almost 2 years ago, February 2021. You think it's so smart? Why don't you have a job? Why don't you have a job? Yeah, if you think you run everything, why can't you get me to sit at that place and have you talk to me any kind of way you want? Because you don't. Told you all of this stuff around me. I'm making sure it dies off. I don't need to sit there and like I deal with enough awful stuff with having to keep trying to get these jobs and feed myself, and I don't need some weird relative that thinks because they pay some bills or they just started paying some bills they're now suddenly God's gift to man and you need to bow down. Man, they want you to worship them like some religious figure. I definitely empathize with you on that one, especially when it comes to the unemployed situation. Having relatives instead of helping would mock you over not being employed. And I was trying to explain that, like, um, I have some people that are in my family who not only do they have jobs, right? You know what job, and Magumi, I think you're aware of this. You know, with some jobs, they have it to where you can recommend people. One of my relatives said, this person that was like not doing anything with you for 3 years, they work for, you know, I mean, I'm gonna like they work within the education industry. Let's put it that way. Teachers and stuff like that. They could have recommended me for something over there, but they didn't. So, that's why I said these people really act like they can completely zone out when it comes to every aspect of your life, except for paying some bills that supposedly keep the roof over your head. And then you're supposed to like still take them seriously and want to listen to them and want to be around. It's like these are the same people who will not get you groceries. So I said over there we ran out of water twice. You can have 10 boxes arriving, but not one of water apparently. Because this person's too lazy to go to the market. Um, they're the same person who didn't help me with getting the job. They're the same person who didn't help me with learning how to drive. Damn near everything I've learned are basically we can go down the list, and pretty much any major thing that I would need or otherwise deem as being like an essential thing I should have, they had no involvement with. But that's why I said like there's so much cartoonish crap that comes out of their mouth. Again, this over dramatic display of I have all of this on my back. It's like, get out of my face. Get out. And dude, if you listen to that person and the other one, it's like they're talking in circles. One of them says they're paying for it. The other one says they're paying for everything. Then both of them say they're paying for the stuff to get. It's like, who's doing what? What are you supposed to believe? Because like I said, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Nobody's going to sit here and talk to me like I'm a piece of garbage because they pay a bill. So yeah, I don't care if they pay for the whole damn neighborhood to have lights over their head. I'm not about to sit here and let you talk to me any kind of way. Like I said, the only reason I tolerated that stuff for so long is because I was trying to get a vehicle, a job, and it looks a little bit like things are changing or mixing up. So I have no reason to sit here and keep putting up with that. Like I said, outside of paying some bills that aren't even being paid for me, they're paying them for themselves. They're not doing anything for me other than running their mouth. No, man, I just don't support like letting people talk to you and tell you what to like. And like, I guess I'll put it this way: there's friction with anybody you live with. I think that's a pretty fair thing to say. But when you have people who cannot sensibly sit down and say, "Look, this is something I do because dot 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 dot," and I need if you can't do that, or if you get to a point where in a very quick brief exchange like the one I had yesterday with this person, you go to threatening to kick them out, and you like this bastard accused me of not communicating. Why would I want you to think about this? Why would I communicate that I am locking my door as I do every single other time I leave so this person won't be able to clean in there when I didn't even know they were going to go in there literally until I was locking and leaving. Like I said, it's not as if they want me to say, hey, look, in 10 minutes, I got to, I want to clean in there. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll wait for you. But like, there was not like, you get where that's ironic, right? They're the ones who don't communicate. I talk about I blow things out. Like, no, I'm not the one threatening to kick people out. I don't make threats. I would just do it. Like if I really was living with someone who like I'm paying the rent and I'm just so I despise them so much and oh my god, like the like if I actually believe that, I'm not going to make any threat. I'm going to say I want you to do this. If they say no or they don't do it, whatever. I think it's truly this evil thing that I just can't live with the circumstances of. I'm going to evict them. And again, like, what the hell do I look like living with somebody that makes a threat like that to me and expects me to come back and want to sit up there? Like, are you crazy? So I said, don't like even like I swear, don't let anyone, whether they pay for where you whatever, try to treat you like you're their slave or talk to you any kind of crazy way. I don't support that with anyone. Yeah, it's self-preservation. I'm about to sit up here and I mean the only reason I tolerated it for so long was again because I didn't have the car, so I couldn't just like go and take off whenever I wanted. and I didn't have the I had other people who were like, "Oh, you can stay over," but they're like far away. But one of them, moved over relative. I want to say relatively close, but like within driving distance. So yeah, I mean, to hell with sitting here and putting up with that crap from that person. What do chicks like to say? I got options. That's me. Sounds like they want to keep you there for their advantage, like doing daily tasks that they don't want to do. And remember, no matter how much of the stuff you do, they're still going to have a problem with you. Yesterday, I was lifting tires into these heavy double set. You know how big some of these tires are for these trucks, and I'm like, I did this for them, and they said thanks, right? And within a couple of hours, they're threatening to kick me out because I locked a door while someone before someone could clean, when I didn't even know they were going to clean in there at that time or when they were going to do it, period. I swear people treat chores like a burden to shoulder off on other people. Guys, look, if it's taking out the trash, if it's whatever it is, there's just no reason for it to, like, I just can't imagine that someone doesn't take the trash out for one day, maybe for 2 days, right? And you got maybe like 3 bags in there, 2 bags in there. I don't know where they got all this trash, but let's say you have like 2 bags in there, and you get so angry over it that you're like yelling at them, threatening them. I mean, I don't understand why it would rise to that level. Like, what chore could be the only thing you could get me to kind of understand a little bit is maybe if it's like feeding an animal, because if they don't feed them every day, whatever, something like that. But if it's something like a mundane task, like move this bag from in the place to out there, I don't really get why that's something that is so paramount and it must be done immediately. And if you don't, I'm going to threaten you and curse you out. And just like I don't get it. And that's why I said I've never viewed myself as being someone who is confrontational, because every time a conflict starts, it's them getting mad over something stupid. Well, Dio, send me whatever place you have for me to do it in, if you don't like that it's in the car. Like I said, it would have been in the same location as this past, what was the New Year's Eve stream. It would have been over there too, but I there's no Wi-Fi over there, so I'm just doing the best I can with what I have. The only other option is to set at that place with that crazy prick and hope that they don't interrupt me for 2 hours, which I can't be assured of. So pick your poison. Well, if it must be done so immediately, urgently, why can't they ever just do it instead? That's what I'm talking about. Now, the real the answer that their defender gave was, well, you've been the one that does it, and we figure since you don't pay any bills, you should just keep doing it. But the actual answer is because they're lazy. That's like that's the actual, because like I said, if I have like when I get stuff ordered to me online and it's in some big box, small box, whatever, it bothers me that the box is there. I take the thing and I just dump it. I don't just sit there and go, let me stick this on top of the can so that the magic dumpster fairy will come and lift it and put it outside for me. No, I just take it out myself. Again, if it bothers me so much that it's there, right? Dude, I hate that so much. You don't pay any bills, so you should do it. Hey, it'd be funny if like the other one tries to call me and I haven't been over there in like a month, and they're like, "Oh, come back." I'm like, "What? You don't need me. I don't pay any bills. I serve no essential services." It's really amusing thinking about how one of them broke the garage, door to where you have to have like you can't click the button to open anymore. You have to lift it manually. And that person yesterday asked me to lift it because it was too heavy. So in my absence, I hope they can find somebody else to lift that. If I'm such this useless moocher who's getting all this stuff, then yeah, then please replace me. Find somebody else that can serve out these goals and tasks that you assign for them. I fully encourage it. So people act like if you don't pay rent somewhere, they can treat you any kind of nasty way. They can try to tell. And like again, if someone says, "Hey, I want you to do this," whatever, um, but it's like you you can't live somewhere where every time someone does something you don't like, you go to this extreme. Like I don't know. Like I said, I'm just imagining if I was a homeowner, you'd have to really do something that I just think is irredeemable, evil, awful for me to be like, all right, look, you can't stay here anymore. But I just don't see how locking a door rises to that occasion. I really don't. Um, I mean, it's one of those things where I said about how when you have an unstable environment, I don't care how many bills somebody pays, an environment is made unstable sometimes by the people that are there, because when they have such friction, or at least when one side has such a desire for friction, to where they can just threaten the other side, right, with no problem about doing that, you're not going to be able to have a fulfilling household for the people that, even if again, the bills are being paid, even in that scenario, because it's not congruent to a working and productive relationship. Like I said, I've had multiple people I've lived with over the course of my life. Some I did as an adult. Actually, a lot of ones I did as an adult, ones I did as a kid, and like no, I don't remember any of them threatening to get rid of me. And it's like, I don't even like what would believe me. There were I think there were more during my adolescence, I would say there were more pressing things that would like make you want to get rid of somebody, just to talk back or whatever. But like you can sit here and like not even argue with these people, like you can get out of here. I'm like, man, forget that. It's just their attitude with you, and that's with the bipolar as well. That's not right or okay. They don't have any right whatsoever to talk to in the manner they did, regardless if they pay bills or not. That stuff ain't acceptable. Well, that's why I said they think if they pay some bills, they're like they own slaves, right? A Kotsky merchant, I would own my own place in a heartbeat if I could. Like I said, the cost of living over here is can be pretty wacky. I'm telling you, the one I was with now was like making so many rules. They're like, don't drive at night, don't drive on the freeway. I'm like, look, at some point you're gonna have to learn to do this stuff. I don't know anybody that learns how to do something by just like refusing to ever actually try. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't work. But that stuff gets on my nerves because at a certain point you have to take risk. Like, and that's why I said I'm always reminded of how little these people actually care about me. Um, because the one that fixed the car, and I say fix with quotations because, like I said, no fixed car is going to lock on you the second you step out of it. That's ridiculous. But no one who actually cares would go, oh, instead of me showing you how to drive or practicing with you, whatever, I'm just going to give you this thing, whatever. But yeah, if it takes coming over here to do a stream today and then maybe I don't know about Monday because I don't know what the deal is gonna. I don't think I'll work on Monday, but we'll see. Um, If it takes coming over here to do a stream, I'll do it. That's how much I like streaming. I'm just saying that it's a little irritating when, you'd rather be in a house because like the light, like for example, the sun's going down, right? I got this stuff that's like melting in the back. Um, but I'm sorry, I just can't put up with these things. Like you just get tired of this stuff, So I said you can't sit there and be expected to just keep on trucking along with this crap. And I'm telling you, man, I tried complying as hard as much as I usually can. But if you make one deviation from the script, these people lose their minds. They go to extremes, and it's not okay. Um, I think I mentioned, no, I don't think I mentioned this, or maybe I did in this. There's so much stuff that's happened, but just to give you an example. This person came in my bedroom they got back from going wherever they went, 11 o'clock at night, to say, before you go to sleep, make sure you move the trash cans to the front, right? This annoyed me because I had my lights off, the time of it. Really, what it is that I wasn't annoyed by being asked to do that, even though they could definitely do it themselves, but they're lazy. I was more annoyed by the fact that I would have done that earlier if I had even, like, it's kind of like you notify someone of something at such a late time of the day where they could have done it earlier and they wouldn't have, like, had an issue with. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I was more annoyed by just the fact that they came in there that late to say something like that when they could have told me to do it. Whatever. I did that, didn't complain, didn't say anything, whatever. And then again, lifted these heavy tires, lifted this heavy garage door, and within a few hours of that, I'm being told that if do I want to have a place to live when it's like, who the hell are you? Like I said, man, the only reason this stuff isn't worse is because I have a personality of attempting to keep the peace and being just docile about a lot of this stuff. If I went around and responded to them the way that they act toward me, it would be a constant day in, day thing of just people cursing each other out or acting crazy. And I even showed the tape of the encounter to like 2 or 3 people. They said I was the cool, calm, collected one. The other one was acting like she was losing her damn marbles. The video even ends me saying, relax. So I said, people are just insane. Like the ways they act toward others, and the statements they make don't align with the things they do. It's a really telling process. But I'm telling you, I really didn't want this stream to be like this, but it's been a really hard last 24 hours. And like I said, at the other place, there's problems there too. There's the problems that are more technological and this relating to space, but I'd rather live in a damn one-room shack than be with that person. I'd rather be deceased than be with that person. I'm not even joking when I say that. I'm tired of this weird aggression that they have. These like stupid phrases that they use, but then expect you to like believe them when they do something that totally contradicts what they just said. And I'm tired of the one that sits there and defends them over everything. How do you not mean it when you tell someone, do you want a place to live when you come? Honestly, that I should change the title of the stream to that. Imagine if every time I show up on my stream, hello, Megumi, do you want a place to live when you come back? You're like, what the hell? That's the person that likes you. That's the person that wants to see you. Are you serious? Saying something as crazy and depraved as that? What, because you didn't show up on time to a stream? Like we need to have perfect attendance? I mean, it's just weird to me. And the perfect attendance thing is like a reference to them getting mad about me not taking I already explained before that, like, you would think because my circumstances changed, they would have some kind of compassion. Like, hey, look, I get that you're working, you're tired. but can you like every 2 or 3 days try to make sure this is taken out? No, it's you take it out every day. Every time after you come back from work, make sure that you take the trash. I'm like, what the hell is what? Where do you get all this stuff? Like, I want you to understand if it's just me and that person there, and I'm gone for most of the day, that means it's just them piling up all this crap in the kitchen. I'm like, this one person by themselves has so much trash every single day that needs to be taken. Really? That's nuts. That's what I said, man. I'm just you get sick of it. Like nobody wants to put up with that. Especially when, like I said, in that scenario, the circumstances change. Okay, see, right now, well, you probably can't see it, but like the sky look, you see how like it still is mostly light outside. It was about this degree of light when that person was banging on the window talking about your lights are off. It's like barely. There's a whole bunch of people that don't have lights on. Like you don't need to bang on the window over it, and then you still banging after I turn it on. So that just shows that was just you looking for a way to like begin some, you know, antagonistic dialogue with me that I wasn't interested in participating in. Oh man, gotta find accommodations. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I told you that when people listen, this is why I said it's the Twilight Zone. You have a person who is at the house all day long, who expects a person who is gone for most of the day to take out the trash that the person who is there all day long says needs to be taken out immediately, today, etc. That's why I said there's no logic to it. If I'm someone who needs something taken out every day and I'm there all day long and someone else isn't, the person who's there all day long should take the crap out themselves. They have two arms that aren't broken. They're not paraplegic. Stuff isn't that heavy. In fact, a lot of it is very light because it's boxes. So, empty boxes. So it's all it is. It's this. It's a way of taking something that really is not that hard to do and just being too lazy to do it, and then trying to legitimize your laziness by mentioning that you pay for something, even though before they paid for anything, they acted the same damn way. So it doesn't matter. I know for a fact I had the misfortune of living with them when they paid for nothing, and they were just as obnoxious, stupid, and delirious as they are today. And if anything, their ego's been boosted since they started supposedly paying for stuff. So it's just a really toxic environment. And like I said, I'm just a guy that wants to go to work, just like do basic stuff. And I hate that I basically got punished for trying to fill out, like I'm saying, like I went to that store and I did what I was supposed to anyway, but like I went to that store to get the paperwork for a job, and like that was what happened because of I don't know, I just and then like the friction with me and them also was perpetuated by me coming back and being too tired to take stuff out because I've been working for 8 or 10 hours. You know what I'm saying, right? That like in this scenario, having a job actively makes things like create some kind of conflict with this person, like working is involved with messing stuff up. I seriously would have done the same thing in that circus. And the way I'm going to stick around and listen to their garbage. Told you when I pulled that thing off, I felt like I was in a. It felt so nice. They were banging on that going. Like, you can talk to yourself because I'm definitely not talking to you if you want to act that way toward me. But anyways, the sun is going down, which I wouldn't care about, but I do have some stuff I want to take back to the place. So I will, if I don't do, I'll put some video up tomorrow. But if I think I'm most likely going to stream on Monday. Don't count me entirely in because I don't know what is going to happen. There might be some more paperwork, other stuff I have to do, but yeah, keep your eyes out, and thanks for showing up. It's been a really aggravating last 24 hours. At various points, I was sick of it, But I keep trucking along. Like I said, I'm a survivor. I'm still doing my streams, still coming on here and smiling and finding ways to entertain people. And the rest of them can go get bent. So have a good rest of your weekend and the rest of your day. Bye.